My hair does not want to work today.
No, your hair's looking good.
No, it doesn't
It's
want to.
full. It's
Doesn't
full
want to
as.
work. I had it in a braid for work all day, so
You look like half a Hagrid, like if you had the other half.
I can deal with one side of puff, not two-sided puff, because then my head looks twice
That was
as large.
that was the first snort I've heard for a while.
I've been letting loose with the snorts lately. All right, okay, I'm getting slack.
Letting
And I'm
loose
snorting.
with the snorts.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
need to do a. Remember, there was a TV show. You know the Smurfs, right? And then there was the
Yeah.
Snorks. Do you remember the Snorks?
No, I don't.
Okay, well they need to do the Snorts. That'd be fun.
The snorts, and it's just me for like half an hour going.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the honkers from Sesame Street. They go.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
I hated those things.
Except they're just going.
I would not watch that.
What?
No, I would not watch that.
So you had the honkers. What about the yep?
No, no. Anything repetitive like that just really did my head in because, like, it was like a 5-minute segment of those things just going yep, 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 blah, blah, and their jaw would come. It was freaky. No, it wasn't for me.
And yet, what was it you did just before we officially started recording?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's just pause the show for a moment and.
Don't be facetious. Don't be facetious. Don't be facetious.
Don't be
facetious. Don't be facetious. Don't be facetious. Don't be facetious. Sorry.
I feel sorry for every motherfucker that's watching this because they're probably not watching this now. They're probably just tapped out. I would have.
That bitch.
Well, for the two of you to the left, hi. Glenn and Chloe. This is up late. It's a Wednesday night. It's 10:30 and we're just here to ramble and talk about nonsense. We are a bit of an offshoot from the Good Movie Monday podcast. If you go back and listen to Monday's show, we had Lewis Mandylor on as our guest. No, we didn't. I better take that back. I'm going to do that all again.
And cut.
He's on next week's show.
You been drinking a little bit, or?
It's the special tea I've got here.
It's the special Irish tea that I made.
Yes, indeedy. No, it was Lewis Mandylor on the show. So.
Oh my god! So you had it right.
Yeah, I had it right. No. Do you remember the other week when it was really fucked and I just couldn't do anything right?
Akron. Hashtag Akron it.
Fuck, it's habitual. Hashtag habitual. Maybe it's... No, there was a gag there that I'm just not going to go for. Because it's not
Did
good.
you actually teabagged it and that's like messed with your brain somehow?
No, it's like hibiscus tea. I was going to go with hibiscus.
Oh, no, that was bad. Mine was better. Oh my god.
Well, hopefully I'm in sync this week.
Let's hope so. It's weird. You're in sync to me right now. So technology, be on our side, please.
Yes.
I plugged in my laptop this week too. So, I mean...
It's like we kind of need to just recalibrate and start fresh, like right from the get-go.
Yeah,
So...
look, sometimes it needs it. Sometimes it needs it. Kind of like this week, because there hasn't been a whole lot of movie news, like at all. There's just been like a whole bunch of trailer drops. I've found
trailer drops. Is that like
trailer?
All
the distributors are like,
behind? Oh, so it's not like a trailer.
You have a trailer.
Left something behind.
Oh no, I meant like when you're driving behind it and like a tree log comes out at you, like it.
Final Destination drop.
Yeah. No, like movie trailer drop. It just
Okay.
seems like everything has been dropped this week.
I was thinking of preview shit.
Yeah. Same thing, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what are we talking now? I remember the other week I was telling you I was going to see the Avatar trailer at the premiere of Doctor Strange 2, but never got there in the end. So
Dang.
I have seen it though. I saw a pirated copy online. It is essentially, it looks like Avatar 1 with weird fish people.
Ooh, weird fish people.
Yeah, I'm up for it. I'm not being
cynic. There's a hook for you.
That's not the type of show we are, Chloe. Come on. Compose yourself. Far out.
Sorry. I was trying to bring the
It's
comedic value back. It's fine. Let's keep
I
going.
know you're totally like angling for a different approach and all that kind of stuff.
Ew. Okay.
But
Ew. What are
we
you
really-
doing? You're just fishing for it now, aren't you? All
Come
right.
on, we need to ramp things up a little bit here. And don't take the bait,
Wow.
but you know,
You're so much better at this than I am. God damn it. Fish, damn it. No, I got nothing.
fish.
I got
Damn,
nothing.
damn it! Damn the fish in the dam.
Ah! I did it and I didn't even know it. Yeah, fish people. That sounds cool.
It does. I'm not being cynical. Like it sounds like I'm being cynical. I've just not got the energy tonight. But it's definitely it looks fun. It does. I mean, it looks exactly the same. Let's not beat around the bush. It does look exactly the same. So I
Do
think
the fish people have like people faces, like Avatar, like the avatars, or are they
they're
actual
just they're like gill people version of the Na'vi.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, like a tribe, but that lives underwater, like mer people.
Yeah, which is exactly what he had promised to do. He had said that the next installment would take place in like an underwater community. So there's that. And I just think a lot of people are going to see the trailer and be underwhelmed because it is basically just what we already know. So there's nothing new really other than gill people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he kind of knows that people are going to see it anyway, so he's not going to give away too much in the trailers. I think he's a little bit smarter than that.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. So there's
Because he's
that.
already got him hook, line, and sinker.
And talk about a sinker.
Talk about a stinker.
Oh, dearie. So I didn't get to see it in 3D, which I guess was was the purpose of that trailer I was supposed to see. But anyway.
Were you disappointed you didn't get to see the Doctor Strange movie?
No, not at all. I was never keen in the first place. I was only going in the first place because I was taking a particular friend along that I had promised I'd take to a Marvel film. Because I don't enjoy the Marvel. The only good thing about a Marvel premiere is the event, because they put on a big banging event with characters and drinks and food and all that kind of stuff, and it's fun. The movies I couldn't give a shit about, and the feedback from this one has been that it's pretty average. So I
Really? Okay. Yeah, it was meant to be hyped up like it's the best one yet.
Okay, so I can actually join this in to a little bit of other movie news, but it's directed by Sam Raimi, who's people like yourself. He's famous for the Spider-Man trilogy, the first one. People like me, he's famous for Evil Dead.
I know Evil Dead.
No, I know, but but there's two camps of fans, I guess you could say. So that's the only appeal that this one had for me, and the people I know that went along to that screening who are Sam Raimi fans from Evil Dead side of things said there's not much going on in it. Like there's not much there.
But if you go to a Marvel film expecting an Evil Dead sort of thing, then...
but even the movies that he makes that are not horror, like the first Spider-Man and even Oz the Great and Powerful that we talked about, there are Sam Raimi tropes in there. Like you can see his
little signature.
Yeah, he's a bit of an auteur and he does things a certain way. And according to the people that I know, there was not a lot of that in this one. It was just very much a Disney Marvel film. But the exciting news is that I read that Sam Raimi and Universal are in talks to do a sequel to Darkman, which is a famous movie he made back in the 90s with Liam Neeson.
Yeah, I actually did read something about that. Darkman, is that what did I see? He had like a weird face, kind of like Scarecrow.
Yeah, he's got bandages on his face, right? That's Liam Neeson. He's like a doctor / scientist that has an experiment go horribly wrong and disfigures him, and but he ends up with powers. And the reason this movie got made, and it's a great movie, is because Sam Raimi was trying at that time, this is long before the Spider-Man movies, he was trying to make Batman, and I think it was, I could be mistaken, I think it was The Shadow. He was trying to make those two films, or The Phantom, one or the other, and he couldn't get them off the ground because he didn't really have they didn't think he had the chops. He didn't have enough movies behind him to do it. So he went and made his own superhero. He made it from scratch with his partners and created Darkman. And it's basically, it looks like it's come from a comic book, even though it's an original story. It did spawn 2 direct sequels that were like DVD sequels. So there is Darkman 1, 2, and 3, and they're all pretty good. And now this one, if they get it going, I think it's like a big budget direct sequel to the first one.
Right. That'll be cool.
Yeah. I think so. Like, yeah, you should check that out. Darkman is a really fun movie, and it's sort of almost become a bit of a forgotten gem, I guess, because nobody really talks about it anymore. Even though this great cast, it's also got Colin Frills, the Aussie actor that's from Malcolm and a bunch of other movies, and yeah, it's just very very fun movie. Cool poster.
Cool.
Cool poster.
Yeah, well, I was looking at photos of it and I kind of got a little bit confused because they kept calling it Darkman, and I never knew of a Scarecrow movie that was ever called Darkman. And I was kind of wondering where it all fit in. So now that you've explained it, that makes a lot more sense. And the fact that it's Liam Neeson is even better.
That's it. It was sort of before he became like A-list, but he was still a very popular name. Like he was always that character in the background. That sort of Darkman was one of his first lead films.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. He's always been that sort of mystery sort of guy, hasn't he, that can just kind of slot into anything. So that's
and considering his face is only on camera for I think maybe 10 minutes maximum, and then it's Bandage Man.
Bandage Man.
Bandage Man.
There you go. Interesting. Very interesting.
And you mentioned just before you were talking about the the trailer droppings.
Yep.
And you mentioned, I mentioned Final Destination. Well, they've just announced that Final Destination 6 is coming, and it's going straight to HBO Max. So people that subscribe to that service won't have to pay to see it.
Wow. I've never seen one of those movies.
They're really good fun. They are really good fun.
They were coming out when I was like a teen. I was like a teenager at that kind of time, and I was more into Pirates of the Caribbean. So Final Destination just didn't do anything for me.
Fair enough. And there's a lot of teens that go through a horror phase. Like there's a particular part of your teenage years where horror becomes important, and then I guess you're either a person that grows out of it or you absorb it even more as you get older, which is who I was. And the Final Destinations are fun movies. The first one kind of is different to the rest because it is its own little thing. And then from that, they built a lore, and they had, I guess, the foundation for a franchise where they could just follow a trope and thread all of the movies together with a theme, because every single movie is interconnected.
Was it based off like a video game or something, or was it just like a film?
The first one was it was written as an episode of X-Files, and the producers thought that it's too good to be one episode, so it got developed into a film. There was another movie, which I can't recall, that was the same thing where it was too good to be an episode of X-Files, so it wasn't The Frighteners, that was Tales from the Crypt. Anyway, Final Destination, that's the origins. And then part two is the one that really established it as a franchise with the potential for a lot more, because it does. Every character from all of these is strung together and connected to other characters.
Okay, interesting.
And it's just a great concept, The concept is that death always wins, and so if you cheat death, it will come for you regardless.
So it's like a karma type of
kind of. And actually the writer who has directed other things, Jeffrey Reddick, he's been on our show. When he was on our show, he was promoting another movie called Don't Look Back that he had directed, and he did the karma thing. That movie was about karma catching up.
Okay. So he has a theme too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he kind of does. But yeah, so I think they're like I guess a tamer version of Saw, because you know how the Saw movies, it's all about how gnarly the deaths can be. It's the same thing with Final Destination. It's all about how grotesque the deaths are, but in a very fun way. Whereas Saw was in a really gruesome, gnarly, grisly way. It's much more cartoony in Final Destination.
Yeah. Okay.
Like splatting in between panes of glass and that kind of stuff.
Was there one where he was on a roller coaster and he got beheaded or something like that?
Yeah, number three, that one. But there's a great scene where a guy pulls up at a fast food drive-through and he's ordering his food, and the car in front has a boat on the back, but the engine starts and it backs up into the guy's face.
Oh no! Is it predictable? You can tell when they're gonna.
Well, the whole point is the death is coming and you know precisely how it's going to happen. So they spend maybe a minute or two before the death just luring you in.
Amping it up.
Right, and you're like, we know it's going to happen, but how precisely it's going to happen is the give. Yeah, it's the fun part.
That kind of gives me sort of Tarantino-esque sort of vibes. You know that person's gonna die. You know it's gonna be gruesome, but it's the whole magic of it happening. That kind of gives me that sort of vibes. But speaking of teen horror, that was when I was in my really early teens. So when I was like 12, maybe 13, that's when I first saw Jeepers Creepers, the first
Yeah.
movie. And it also spawned my love of JL,
Mr. Long.
Mr. Long. That's where my love started. But yeah, that's like one of the only horror movies I can still watch to this day. And then I read that it's getting a fourth movie or something. Like there's going to be a fourth.
So the fourth movie is coming, and I don't want to go into the stories, but the director of the first three, there's a very notorious, controversial backstory to his career. And so now that we're in a very, very woke culture, they're not.
I thought that was the writer.
No, writer and director. He created.
Okay, right.
Yeah, Victor Salva, and just put that name into Google. People can search it for themselves.
Yeah, I did read something about it.
Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, as a filmmaker, I like his work. I think he makes great films. As a person, don't think much of him. But yeah, number 4, there's no way they would let him make it now. So
right,
someone else is picking up the mantle or the baton and running with it.
Yeah, because I did see 2020 and then I saw 2021 and now I'm seeing 2024. So, I mean, who knows? But
that's not a surprise because number 3, I think, was bubbling around for about 10 years. Like number 2 came along, then immediately number 3 was rumoured. And he had trouble making it because he went to a couple of cities like Vancouver and kind of got... marched out of town because protests would pop up and stuff like that. So he had to shoot it covertly, like secretly. But anyway, people will be the judge of what they will. I mean, Justin Long loves him, so
Does he?
Yeah, well, he worked with him 2 times, knowing damn well who he is and what he's done.
2 times.
He's in part 2 as well.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't
Briefly.
remember the second part at all. I remember the first part. I remember the first movie. I remember the second movie, but I don't remember him in it.
It's a very small part, but it's in there. Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to go back and watch it because again, it's the only sort of horror movie that I can.
It is an interesting franchise because number 2 on its own is weird. It all takes place pretty much on a school bus.
Yes, the school bus one. Yeah.
But then number 3 takes place in between number 1 and 2, but the final moments of number 3 join up exactly with number 2. So if you watch them in the other order, so if you watch 1, 3, 2, it's one story.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
So it works pretty well like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And we've probably given Jeepers Creepers more time than many other people have in the last few years, so I'm happy about that.
I mean, I don't know why I like it so much. I don't know what it is about it. I think it was my first sort of introduction to horror and one that it did cause me not to sleep for a long time, but it's one that I could go back to. I don't know why.
It's an effective one. I think it probably speaks to your intelligence. I think it's a very smart film, I think it's clever. However, there's fucking gaping plot holes galore in it. How does this creeper build his own custom fucking van with booby trap, all this kind of stuff? Mm-hmm. Anyway, but as far as the theology and the mythology behind it and how it hibernates and comes back every so often, like 27 years, I think it is, something like that.
23 years for 23 days.
That's it, right? And just clever the way the movie has the character evolve. So it begins, he's a menacing truck. That's all it is. And it turns into, he's a shadowy figure in the distance. Then he is much more as a monster. But then he's fucking a bat. Like, he just evolves, right?
Yeah.
And it's not dumb either. Like, the way it evolves, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, I get excited about these things.
I mean, so do I. When we finally agree about something and it's along the same sort of genre lines, it's a rare day.
Well, I think we agree on a lot of things. It's the horror that is where we come unstuck.
I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
Have you watched anything mildly horror lately, like say in the last few months?
No, probably not.
No. Okay. Fair enough. Well, when you do, let me know.
I did watch Rumble. Yeah, so the animation about the giant sort of WWE wrestling monsters.
Yep.
So we finally, pretty sure it's Paramount Plus.
Haven't watched that one yet. I do know about it, but have not seen it.
It's cute. It's cute. Yeah. Look, I'm not going to go back and watch it really quickly, but yeah, it was cute.
Did the kids like it?
Kids loved it. They watched
There
it
you
3
go.
times already.
That's all that
So
matters.
it's a winner. I
Yep.
mean, they're giant monsters who wrestle each other. I've got 3 boys. What do you reckon?
That's funny. John Wick director wants to make up to 10 installments. He wants John Wick to go all the way to number 10.
Why though?
Firstly, have you seen them?
No.
Okay. The answer lies within, if you've seen them, you'll know why.
I heard that the whole plot of like the first movie is that someone killed his dog.
Well, yes. It's was it you I was talking to when I was talking about the Nicolas Cage movie Pig, and I said it's John Wick with a pig?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that the dog is only a catalyst to what happens, right? So he is just a man living a simple life, mourning the death of his wife. The dog is the legacy of his wife. She gave it to him just before she died, right? So the dog is essentially an extension of her to him. And the dog is killed during a home invasion.
Right.
So they've killed his wife all over again. That's the psychology of it.
Right. Okay.
Right. So it's more than just the dog being killed. Plus, it's not often in movies that they can kill animals, right? They just don't do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it has a lot of power to it when this happens, because you see it, and it's it's unpleasant, but it sets in motion something that's so spectacular and possibly one of the great action series of like the last 20 years at least. And
really?
these films also evolve. So it starts off very simple with number 1. Number 2 gets slightly bigger. Number 2 gets gigantic. And where they're going with this whole, I want to do 10 installments, only if you've seen these movies and you know the intricacies of all these sort of organizational stuff that's going on, there's potential for it. And they're not all going to be John Wick just kicking ass like he does. There's going to be fractions and little side stories. There's already a prequel coming, so it'll be a universe.
That'll be cool. I'll be disappointed if I, get invested into this series and it becomes like a fucking Fast and the Furious crap where it's just like 10 movies of cars and like I don't know if I could do that again.
If they continue with the trajectory they're already on, because number 2 and 3 are just an evolution of number 1, it will get very old very quickly, right? There's only so many people this guy can kill. At the moment, up to number 3, it's still fun and it's still original. But if they keep going, they've got to do something different. They've got to pull something else out of the hat. And they've already kind of established that they're going to do that with a few little side characters.
Okay.
So, and this is a character with a bit, director with a bit of integrity. So I 10 is a big number to put out there. Like
I was going to say, that's a big commitment.
It is, but I guess when movies are bankable like John Wick, you can probably say that with some sincerity, and the studio will probably back it. There might be the contract might have a clause. Well, the second that the returns are declining,
they're just going to
axe
it.
They say the diminishing returns, they'll axe it. But so long as they break even or keep making money, I reckon he's got a chance of doing it.
Oh, interesting.
Which leads to doesn't lead to it at all. Actually, it's let me just tangent onto something else.
Let's do it.
Have you drawn any further conclusions with the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard stuff?
What a fucking fiasco this shit is.
It seems like the world has made up their mind. It's funny.
They made up their mind before the trial even began.
But it's very interesting. That is true. But you've got the mainstream media. They've backed the horse right from the start, and they're not retracting. And yet everyone else seems to have backed their horse.
Yeah.
Which seems to be winning by a fucking long streak.
Yeah, look, I've been seeing bits and pieces of on TikTok. Again, that's basically where I get all my updates. Amber Heard's dog stepped on a bee.
No, it didn't just step on a bee.
It stepped on a bee. And
she's not doing herself any favors, right? Let's just pretend she's being sincere, right? Let's pretend that she's being sincere. She does this cry, which does look fake because she's not really producing any tears. And the second that there's a motion to approach the bench or something, she snaps out of it.
Yeah.
She just snaps out of it and goes right back to her regular composure, like nothing had upset her in the first place. Then you've got that fucking image of her posing for the camera with the tissue.
I was just about to mention that. I've got to blow my nose. Hang on.
Yeah. Which, if you watch, and that makes sense, if you go back and look at video footage of her on television back when she first started accusing him of domestic violence, right? There's a famous footage of her walking outside a courthouse or something, and she's got a big bruise on her face, right? It's on this side, and every time the cameras are around, she goes like this.
Yeah, of course.
Like it's just so staged and pathetic. Then there's the psychology of, generally speaking, an abuser doesn't try to make eye contact. A victim doesn't try to make eye contact with an abuser, and yet she's constantly trying to stare him down. And yet he's always his eyes are always down, not making eye contact. Yeah, it's just so rotten. All of it is so rotten.
She's just a bit of from my perspective, she's just a bit of a psychopath. Like just a little bit of a psychopath.
Mind you, her legal team is not helping. They are fucking hopeless.
They got her name wrong the other day. Her name.
I love it when the judge was like, I mean, this is probably boring to people that aren't invested in this story because, let's face it, it's tabloid. But what are we but cheap and tabloid?
Cheap, very much so, yes.
But like the judge is telling them their allotted times. You've got 24 hours left to argue. You've got 23, and Amber Heard's team saying no, we've got like more than that. And she's like adding it up, and she goes, "Are you sure?" And her defense is saying, "Yeah, we definitely have more time." And then someone else got a calculator out and goes, "No, you don't." Like, don't argue with the judge. Like,
Jesus Christ. And there was a meme there that the judge did look a lot like Gary Oldman too. So, I mean, biopic in the works. I don't know.
Or he's announced that he's potentially retiring. That was another news story this week. So nice segue, Chloe.
He's
nice
a
segue.
chameleon. He needs to keep going.
Throwback to the Movie Night with the Richie Girls podcast.
Chameleon, no.
Wretched puking husbands and chameleons. That's what I take from your podcast.
You want to know a funny story? I don't know if I told you this or not, but if you've ever listened to my podcast,
is this suitable for like everyone?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
If you've ever listened to the Movie Night podcast, you'll know that my husband is a scream spewer, and he screams as he spews, and I do a lovely rendition of it. Are
you making eye contact with him now? Is that why you keep looking off to the side?
He's in bed.
Okay. You're like,
he'll kill me. When we had gastro on Easter Sunday,
oh, no.
my son, who is the most like my husband, we found out is also a scream spewer. Just imagine a 5-year-old scream spewer. Poor little darling.
I mean, more blokes scream spew than chicks do. That's definitely
it's just a weird thing I didn't know about men. And
I am a bit of a scream spewer. Like it's not even a scream. It's like a demonic possession.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've told you the story. I'm like amongst my friends and now the world apparently. I've been nicknamed Blood Balls, right? Oh. Yeah. It's not what you think. Because I famously
You've been
got
teabagging that hot tea too much.
I famously got drunk and all of the blood vessels in my eyes burst.
Oh.
So for about, because then they don't just go away. So for about a month and a half, I had red eyes as in like horror eyes, like just pure red. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because I spewed so hard, I didn't have anything in my stomach to bring up. So it was just, when you spew and you can feel your eyes really strain. I could feel the blood vessels going like pop, 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 pop. Yeah. So if you ever get to that point that you can feel that in your eyes, try and hold back because you'll get blood balls.
Holy shit. That's crazy. Did you take photos of that?
There are photos of it, but I don't know where they are. They used to be on my Facebook page, so you're welcome to deep dive, but I don't think they're there. There might be like aftermath photos where it's going away and receding. But this was MySpace days, right? So
yeah.
I think they were all on MySpace, and that account, although it exists, all the photos are gone.
Yeah, okay.
Blame Justin Timberlake. He bought MySpace. He should have kept them.
JT, you bitch.
Yep. Bloody hell.
You bitch.
Should we end on a really awesome bit of news before we run?
Absolutely.
Paul Kelly's How to Make Gravy is getting turned into a movie.
I know who Paul Kelly is.
Okay, well, his most iconic song, like he's got famous songs that you can sing along to, but the one that sort of is always beloved is How to Make Gravy. And it's a prison song. It's a song about a guy that goes to prison and he sings about how he misses home and he misses his mum's gravy, right? That's the whole gist of the song. And it's a story about family, and there's all these characters in the story and the narrative, and it's just a really beautiful tale. And so he's been approached recently to turn that into a film, possibly musically. And Paul Kelly is a storyteller. It's going to be amazing.
Paul Kelly's amazing. Anything Paul Kelly touches is going to turn to... He's like the Midas of Australia.
I love Paul Kelly. You know I have a huge penchant for Australian films. I also love Christmas films. Like, you put this all together... And not only Christmas films, I love Australian Christmas films. Like, there's not many of them, but the ones that are out there are pretty good.
Oh, so it's going to be Christmas filmed as well? Like,
because it's a Christmas story. The whole thing, he wants to go home for Christmas because his mum's gravy is calling him. Like,
okay.
Yeah. Did I not say that in the start? I
you didn't say Christmas, no. So when you added Christmas in there, I was like, okay.
That was my assumption that everyone knew the song.
Yeah, no.
So add it to your Spotify list. It's a great song. And when you listen to the story, you'll hear the film. Like,
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting one. Give that a listen tomorrow.
I think that is great news to end on. Like, you know, how to make gravy.
So. How do you make gravy?
Gravox. It's just water and just stir it. It's not the gravy he's singing about, but that's how I make gravy sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, you're the chef. Then you're more of a chef than I am, and I know that that's not how you make gravy.
No, but when you're on the go and you got a family to feed.
Yeah, but I'm the only one that eats gravy anyway, so you make it properly.
How good's gravy?
So good.
Do you remember gravy flavored chips?
No.
Do you remember Hamish and Andy?
Yes.
So they had this thing on their radio show where they got a petition, or they got like
I remember that.
A voting thing, like vote for chip flavors, and the one that won was gravy, and so they went to Smith's Chips, and Smith developed a gravy flavored chips that was on the market for about a year, and it was the fucking bomb. It was great.
I mean, I remember that whole campaign, but I don't think I ever realized what happened to it. Because I was an avid Hamish and Andy listener.
I know, that's why I knew you would have known them, which I was surprised you didn't know gravy chips. Because they were on the packet of chips, they were down the bottom, like as developed by Hamish and Andy.
I need gravy chips.
Yeah, well, I hope they bring them back because they are legitimately good. And
let's start the petition. #Acronet gravy chips.
Yeah, so there we go. So what better to carry us 2 minutes overtime than gravy?
Anything for gravy.
And chips. Everyone loves chips. That half an hour flew. Will I see you next week? Please say yes.
I hope so. I'm going to be here. Whether or not you are, that's a different story. Better be.
Awesome. See you then.
Bye.
It looked like you were just ripping apart then.
I know. It was really bad. Do you want me to do it again?
No, I've got it.